Hey folks, welcome back to another video. I have been on a Winchester SXP Defender kick lately, and there's like one thing that really bugs me on the SXP Defender and some other shotguns. Gun is clear. The thing that bugs me, these dents, otherwise known as dimples. They are a pretty ingenious and simple, cost-effective design when it comes to retaining the magazine spring in there and also the magazine cap. Got some detents from those teeth to line up with those in the cap. So pretty nice when it comes to doing all that, retaining this stuff. But they sure are annoying when it comes to adding a magazine extension, because those dents effectively stop your magazine right there, which means that your magazine follower stops at those dents. And it also makes it so these are dummy rounds. If you want to see how these were made, check out this video somewhere else. It makes it so the rim of this brass on this case here can't go past there. The body will fit past, but the rim won't. So to add an extension, you have to either drill them out, and there's two of them, one on each side. You have to either drill them out, which then leaves you with a hole in your magazine tube. You have to grind them out from the inside, or swage them out with a steel rod that is about the exact same diameter as your magazine tube or the rim of a case, but you do that with a steel swage and a hammer. So I have opted for the swage out method, and I'm going to be using the Fender Tactical 12 gauge magazine tube dent removal tool. Comes in two pieces, three if you count the little screw on here, but we'll see how this works. So following their directions on their YouTube channel, that's Defender Tactical, you'll take your piece here, and this has two flat spots on either side. You'll line those flat spots up with the dents. I don't think they mentioned this on their video, but I'm going to put a little bit of oil on this swage here, and it's a pretty exact fit into the magazine tube. Put that in there. All right. And then you'll take a hard flat surface of some sort, put that on your hard flat surface, and you'll hit right on those flat surfaces. I'll try a few each side. That loosened that swage right up. And here's a close-up. So they are now pretty flat This one actually seems to bulge out a little bit, which is interesting. But they are flat on the outside. Here's the swage, and you can tell where it impacted those dents. There's the inside where those were. So now your follower comes right out, and the shell fits all the way in there. Let's put a magazine extension on there now. I think I may have found an issue that I actually have another SXP I'm going to try it on just to see. I thought the magazine tube looked a little bulged from the swage, and come to find out when I put the barrel on, it has bulged out a little bit because the barrel now doesn't just slide on easy. It takes a little bit of force. So on the other one, when you hit the sides of this piece, I'm not going to hit quite so hard. I'll do gentle taps until the swage can slide out. So I'll try that. I'll get back to you. Okay, so here's the second SXP that I'm going to try the swage technique on. But when I hit the sides, I'm going to do gentle taps, just enough until the swage can come out. Still a little bit of friction, but twist out. And to put the barrel back on, now a little bit of a bulge still in the magazine tube. So I don't know if you want to deal with a little bulge that makes getting your barrel on and off a little harder, or if Defender Tactical needs to change this system up a little bit. I don't know, but slight annoyance, if you will, but the dimples themselves, the dents themselves, were also a slight annoyance. We'll see what I'm gonna do.
1 hour later.
Okay, I think I got it. I think this system here gets you 95, 93% there. Put it in, pound it, you get those dimples relatively flat and flush. What I then had to do, because of the bulge on there, was I just put the swage in there and hit the dimples individually themselves to flatten them out. Because I think the problem that you run into is with a steel piece, a steel tube, an aluminum ring, call it whatever you want to call this, the steel tube dimples dimple into the aluminum, thus raising them more than flat. That's where you get the issue when you try to put the barrel on. The dimples are almost reversed, like they're dimpling out now instead of being perfectly flat. So what I did was steel swage, steel tube, steel hammer. A bunch of times. And then I kept test fitting, so I would take this out, put the barrel on, right? And that's pretty easy. It's just a slight bit harder than from factory. I can push it on with a finger. I can tell there's some resistance there still, but I don't have to wedge it in the crook of my hip to push it down on there. So I did that, kept test fitting, and then without the swage, I used a little baby steel hammer and just really tried to even them out as much as I could. And I could probably still get a little more, but I am satisfied with this one. I now have 2 examples. I have a data set of 2 that just this from Defender Tactical is not ideal. There's a little more fitting required, but this gets you most of the way there. All right, sorry if this video seems a little scattered. I have been editing and moving stuff around, and I've just run into a few issues with the dimples, with the magazine extension. I was gonna make it all one video, but I'm just gonna cut this one here. Knowing what I know now, I might have been tempted to Dremel the dents out from the inside or just drill them out. Drilling definitely would have been the fastest, but I'm not sure how I feel about having 2 holes in my magazine tube. I know people have done it, and if you have done it, had success or a failure because of that, I'd love to hear about it down in the comments. So next video, we will look at adding a +2 magazine extension from S&J Hardware / Woodland Armory. But yeah, we'll get to that then. I appreciate you watching. Like, share, subscribe, all that stuff if you think I deserve it. And we'll see you on the next one.